On May 14, 2016, the DC comic book community has lost one of its most influential artists. Darwyn Cooke was an artist who has done some of the best work for DC Comics, this including The Spirit, Before Watchmen Minutemen, and the 2002 Catwoman series, had died from his long battle from cancer at age 53. Cooke was an amazing artist and truly one of my inspirations for drawing, and to honor him, I decided to review a film that was based off one of his works, Justice League The New Frontier. Based off Cooke's comic, DC The New Frontier tells the story of what happened between the golden age of DC Comics to the Silver Age. For those that don't know what those ages are, basically the golden age was the beginning of comic books from the late 1930s to the early 1950s, where superheroes were just starting out. While the Silver Age was basically the reinvention of the golden age heroes to the modern equivalents we know from the late 1950s to the early 1970s. These would include heroes like The Flash and Green Lantern. So is the film worth watching and honoring the great Darwyn Cooke? Well, strap into your rocket ships because we're about to find out. So, what's the plot? Well, it's kinda all over the place, but I'll explain the best I can. Basically, it's the 1950s, and superheroes are banned by the government with the exception of a few. We follow John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, who was teleported from Mars, who is trying to adjust to life on Earth. And Hal Jordan, the soon-to-be Green Lantern, who is trying to adjust to life after his experience in the Korean War and is later employed as a test pilot. Along the way, we see some familiar faces, this including Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, and The Flash. And there is a story about the government tracking down superheroes to experiment on them, and also flying a mission to Mars. But when a mysterious threat called the Center wants to wipe out all of humanity, it's up to the combined efforts of the heroes and the government to stop them. Cooke's original comic series was 6 issues long, but it had a continuing flow, with each issue taking place during a certain year. Like I said earlier, the plot is all over. Here it seems like they're trying to cram as much as possible, which makes... Out of randomness, there is this one scene I like to point out where the Flash announces that he's going to stop being a superhero after being hunted down by the government. And the civilians are actually happy about that.
Who needed him anyway?
Probably some kind of crook.
Definitely a freak.
Definitely. And what was with that red costume? Red's for commies.
You dicks!
Plus, there's a lot of interesting plots and characters that they left out from the comic. Like for starters, the first few pages in the comic focuses on the losers. In case you don't know who the losers are, they're a group of World War II soldiers from each branch of the US military who have a knack. Then there is John Henry Irons, who is Steel in the main DC continuity. Here he is used to brout the issues of segregation and racism that were truly a problem at the time, and even till this day actually. In the film, he's only merely mentioned in one scene. We see Hal Jordan become the Green Lantern and actually test out the ring, which he has a blast with. And even Wonder Woman being shown leaving the United States because she was going to expose the US activities in Vietnam. Now, did the movie have some good parts where they did things better than the book? Oh yes, most definitely. For starters, in the comic, Batman, with the exception of a few scenes here and there, didn't really play much of an important role. But in the movie, he really helps out, and even is in the final fight. Also, there is a character named King Faraday who is a government agent, in which, spoilers, he dies, but differently. In the comic, he is killed by the Martian Manhunter when he is under control of the Center, but in the movie, he goes out like a boss.
Now I'm dead! Like a boss!
The animation is also pretty good as well, with the animation team trying their best to imitate Cooke's amazing artwork. The voice acting here is also pretty good as well, with famous voices such as Lucy Lawless as Wonder Woman, who played Xena Warrior Princess, Miguel Ferrer, who played Shan Yu from Mulan, voices the Martian Manhunter, Phil Morris, who actually played the Martian Manhunter in Smallville and voiced Vandal Savage in Justice League, is King Faraday, and Neil Patrick Harris is the Flash, who is well known for a variety of roles. Heck, he even looks like Barry Allen. But aside from that, the movie is okay at best. While the comic is better, the problem I think both of them have is that, well, they are not meant for a mainstream audience. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that while you don't need any knowledge of the Silver Age to enjoy the New Frontier, you're probably going to need to have that knowledge to understand it. Some of the stuff here is mirroring to what happened to the comic book industry during the 1950s, and if you don't know your stuff, then you might be confused here. And there are even some obscure characters that appear here, such as the Blackhawks, the Challengers of the Unknown, and Adam Strange, not related to Doctor Strange. Overall, Justice League The New Frontier is an alright movie. It has its problems, but overall, if you want to check it out, I say go for it. But I highly recommend the original comic, or if you want to check out a DC cartoon that pays homage to the Silver Age, but will be easy to follow, go check out Batman Brave and the Bold, for it truly gives love to that era of comics. Also, please check out anything by Darwyn Cooke. Seriously, this guy's work was awesome, and may he rest in peace.